And Dan joining us as well. But let's get you right to the show. And we say good morning. It is time to get up with Aaron Rodgers rolling in the snow. Are the Packers now the team to beat in the NFC? Plus, Pittsburgh's improbable comeback. How much should we trust Big Ben and the Steelers after turning it around against the Colts? And we ask, who saw this coming? Will the Cowboys win the NFC East? And the big question becomes, what will happen if they do? And thank you for joining us today again on Get Up. And we start with the statement of the night. And it was a big one from Green Bay. The Packers hosting the Titans. There's Ben Jones walking onto the field barefoot to honor his brother. And Aaron Rodgers had it rolling, had some fun in the snow. Second quarter, Packers up 6-zip. 3rd and 1, Equanimeous St. Brown grabs the touchdown. Packers cruising early as they go up 12-zip. But Ryan Tannehill, he was on it in the beginning. Watch this. No, wasn't on it there. But he was on it later. Darnell Savage turns it, and you see a Packer slide in the snow as Tannehill lets out that frustration early on. But don't worry, you'll see him later. Packers ensuing possession. Rodgers throws the fade to Davante Adams in the corner of the end zone for the touchdown. Great game by Adams, Dan.
Him and Aaron Rodgers were in absolute lockstep. You saw it in the red zone. That fade was thrown perfectly. And then Ryan Tannehill does an outstanding job here, Ryan, and moving from the pocket, finding Jonnu Smith for a touchdown. Tennessee finally on the board.
Yep, cut that deficit 19-7. Next Packers possession. No, actually, it's Tannehill right there. He makes it happen with his legs. Steps up and steps in for the touchdown. And the Titans making this a game. And then he's all smiles. That frown was gone. But then this happened. Ensuing Packers drive. Aaron Jones bounces off to the side. Now, just keep this in mind. He runs it on all the way to the 7-yard line for a 59-yard gain. But you take a closer look at this play, Dan, and something very big was missed.
Yeah, right. Well, first of all, no one gets a closer look than the official at the bottom of the screen who's staring right at the out-of-bounds marker, and Aaron Jones steps out in front of him. And second of all, someone in the press box has to get down to Mike Vrabel, challenge that he stepped out of bounds.
Unbelievable. And you know what? Aaron Rodgers makes you play. He finds, guess who? Davante Adams, 3rd touchdown of the game. What a game for him. Packers 26-14. Next Packers possession, same score. A.J. Dillon bounces through the hole right there. 30-yard touchdown. Packers seal it. A.J. Dillon, Lambeau leap, not quite, not when there's nobody there. Well, not a lot of people there. 14. Rodgers taking this one. And Rodgers and Davante Adams have connected for 17 touchdowns this season, the most between a quarterback and a wide receiver over the last 10 seasons. Adams is also one receiving touchdown away from tying Sterling Sharp for the Packers' single-season record set back in 1994. That is how well that combination is playing. And, Rex, it makes me think, how well is Aaron Rodgers playing? What are you seeing in him?
Look, I've seen Aaron Rodgers. I mean, he torched me many a time. But I don't know if I've seen him play better. And that's crazy. As old as he is, how the heck can I make that statement? I'm just telling you, he has been unreal. And his connection to Davante Adams, it is sick. Like, it's just, I mean, best duo, I think, in the National Football League. But you know who, Ryan, I was more impressed by the running game of the Packers than just Aaron Rodgers. He was brilliant, but the running game was terrific. And then their defense. Their defense is starting to peak at the right time. And then you got to go all the way. You got to go into Lambeau Field and beat this team in the playoffs. I don't see anybody doing it. I don't. So this team to me right here, man, at the right time, they're the number 1 seed in the NFC for a reason. They're playing better than any team in the NFC.
And Dan, again, Aaron Rodgers, I just have to ask the question. Is this the best quarter? Let me not say it that way. Excuse me. Back up. Is he the MVP?
Yeah. Aaron Rodgers locked up the MVP last night. I mean, the performance that he had was spectacular. No, right. So week 1, the Packers played the Minnesota Vikings. And I remember doing a touchscreen breakdown on Aaron Rodgers and making the comment, listen, he's playing better than he has in the last 5 years. This play's a perfect example. Double post. He's going to turn into a go route at the bottom of the screen by Davante Adams. And Rodgers is peeking at it like, okay, I want to throw that ball, but Adams doesn't win. So I love the secondary plan. Okay, if he doesn't win, that safety's going to go over the top. Let me find that crosser and that beautiful touch throw to Equanimeous St. Brown. Like, that's why he's got such confidence with the football. The plan at the line of scrimmage, but then the secondary plan. And I said it in week 1 that was the best I had seen Aaron Rodgers in 5 years. I've seen every snap of Aaron Rodgers' career. We were drafted the same year. He went a little bit earlier than I did in the draft, and our careers have been just a little bit different, okay?
Tiny bit.
But he's one of my favorite players ever to watch. This is the best football I've ever seen him play.
By the way.
Okay? It's the best
Very
football
similar, guys.
I've ever seen Aaron Rodgers play. He's the MVP. Shout out to the best weapon at ESPN, Paul Hembekides, right? He sent me this note. And it kind of blows my mind. In the last 5 games, Rodgers has got 15 touchdown passes. He's got 11 misses.
Wow.
He's got 15 touchdown passes and 11 missed throws in the last 5 games in the NFL. He's playing at a different level than he ever has, and he's playing just as good as Patrick Mahomes ever has in his career.
RC, weigh in. What do you think about the way he is playing and whether or not he's the MVP right now? I mean, he's not Dan Orlovsky type talent, even though they were drafted really closely together. But what do you think about him in terms of the MVP conversation?
It's very difficult, but I think he is the MVP. I mean, now I was around for some of them games in 2010 and 2011. That Aaron Rodgers and that dude was different. You know, that dude threw 40-yard balls down the sideline that got about 6 feet off the ground and you couldn't touch him. And so, so there are some of those things where I look at it and you see that he's aged. What I will say about Aaron Rodgers, I've never seen him play so comfortably.
Yes.
Right? I've never watched a quarterback in more command of his offense, a quarterback that feels like he can do whatever he needs to do with the football whenever it needs to be done. And when you see Aaron Rodgers run for 14 yards and get a first down and he gets up and he's looking at the dude that tackled him with that little smirk on his face, knowing that the scotch is going to be a little different after this blowout win, that's the dude that scares you. The dude that's actually having fun playing football, dicing you up, making all the right decisions, and knowing exactly where the football needs to be each and every play. That's who we're getting. And we're getting that with the run game and the defense that's improving. And that's why this is the best team in the NFC headed into the playoffs.
Right. Can I make this point? Because here, and I said this in the 8 o'clock hour.
Real quick, because we got to go.
Yeah. Listen, I don't know how many teams can make the claim of having a quarterback who's playing the best, a wide receiver who's playing the best, an offensive line who's playing the best, and a coach who's one of the best with the play call and play design. Like, that's a very real thing to be said about Green Bay, and there's not a lot of teams that can be into that conversation that can say that.
Yeah, unbelievable the way this team is playing as a whole. Let's go on the clock. I want to get right to this. 30 seconds each. RC, I start with you. What should we take away from the Chiefs squeaking by the Falcons?
Nothing. Y'all always trying to take away something. Right? Oh, let's do a show. The Chiefs barely won. They had 3 dudes spin around in the backfield. Then they did some type of naked pitch, and it didn't work. So they just keep winning. Now, if the defense would have given up 40 points and you lose to the Atlanta Falcons, you're scared. But you're never scared that the Chiefs won't score enough. You're never scared that Patrick Mahomes won't play well enough, because all they've done is play well enough to win 14 of the 15 games that have been scheduled. So they played down a little bit. I don't care. They're still the best team in football.
All right, Rex, which non-division winner is the scariest team in the playoffs?
Yeah, Ryan, this is easy for me. It's the Baltimore Ravens right here, man. Lamar Jackson, I'm sorry, but when Lamar's playing like this, it's unreal. I mean, Baltimore now, like, they can run the ball better than any team in the league. This rookie running back, Dobbins, has been amazing. And then when Lamar's got that thing running, he can dial up Hollywood Brown. He can dial up those tight ends. Dez Bryant now shows up in the red zone. I love the way Baltimore is playing right now, and their defense. We can say what we want, but their defense is about as good as it gets in the league.
Yeah, it's really good right now. And Dan, we talked a little bit about Dwayne Haskins a little earlier. Is his career already effectively over?
Yes. His career is on the verge of being over in the NFL. You get labeled really early on as a player in the NFL, both on the field and off the field. On the field right now that we know is just not good enough. Doesn't play good enough consistent football at the quarterback position. But off the field, it's worse. You're being labeled as a poor teammate, unprepared, bad study habits, selfish, lack of leadership. So Dwayne Haskins right now needs to get a very clear grasp of what this opportunity is to play quarterback in the NFL, because it's on the verge of being taken away from him very quickly.